Today we shall look at the IELTS writing test. Okay, you already know what IELTS means, right? The full meaning of IELTS. You already know? Okay, don't worry. We'll always respect ladies first, even in the classroom. It's not only when we get out there. Here you go. This is for you.
I don't know.
I've not asked a question I don't know already.
I don't know what the meaning of IELTS.
Okay. Do you know the meaning of IELTS? Okay.
IELTS.
Yes,
That's not English language test, right?
Are you asking?
I'm just, no, I've said it already, so I don't know.
I'm asking.
Okay, International English Language Test.
Thank you. That's your response. Good job. Okay. Yes.
Yes, that is it, but I don't know which one.
Okay, it actually means International English Language Testing System. International English Language Testing System. Right? Okay. Of course, it's not going to be a part of your questions, but it's important you get to know the meaning of whatever acronym you are faced with, especially if it's something that is meant to examine you. Right? So, if you want to go write WAEC, for instance, you should know the full meaning of WAEC. Okay, so it means International English Language Testing System. For your sake, what can I call you?
Linda.
Pardon?
Linda.
Oh, Linda. Now, for Linda's sake, I would like to take us through the nursery aspect of IELTS, so she would not be totally left in the middle of the whole thing. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Now, the IELTS test has different types or kinds. IELTS test has different types. We have the IELTS for job applications. We have the IELTS for study. We have IELTS to reunite with a spouse that is resident in the UK, for instance. Now, the IELTS you write for job is called the General Training IELTS for job application. General Training IELTS. That's what it's used. That's what is used for job applications anywhere in the world, except for nurses and doctors. Nurses and doctors don't use General Training IELTS. They use the academic IELTS. Now, the academic IELTS is actually used for study application. If you want to study abroad, you need the academic IELTS. Please, do you understand this? Now, the type of IELTS you need if you wish to reunite with your spouse who is, for instance, settled in the UK, the type of IELTS exam you have to write is called the UKVI Life Skills A1. UKVI Life Skills A1, right? Now let's understand that the IELTS as a test has two types, apart from the different modules of IELTS. There are two types of IELTS. We have the standard IELTS and we have the UKVI IELTS. Please, do you understand this? We have the standard IELTS, we have the UKVI IELTS. Now, the standard IELTS has the general training and the academic. Do you understand? The UKVI also has the general training and the academic. Now, but you cannot use the UKVI IELTS to apply to institutions in other countries. It doesn't work. It is specifically for the UK. Do you understand? UKVI is specifically used for applications in the UK. But if you are looking to apply to other countries of the world, you should write the standard IELTS. So when you identify this, you now want to define what exactly am I applying for. So if it is for study, you're writing standard what? Academic IELTS. If it is for study. If it is for job, you're writing what? Standard general training IELTS. Please, do you understand this? But if your target is strictly or restricted to the UK, don't write, you may not necessarily write the standard because 80% of institutions in the UK don't accept that standard. They are headbent on you providing their own UK VR, right? Now let's go further. To write the IELTS proper, there are two formats of the test. There are two formats of the test. So you can go for either the computer-based test or you go for the paper-based test. These are the two formats of the test. Computer-based test or paper-based test. Of course, the computer-based test is the format that requires you to conduct or carry out your test directly on the system, on the computer system. Whether it is the academic or the general training, you are to write everything on the system. So it is best for people who are pretty conversant with a computer. If your computer literacy level is, please don't go for it. You're gambling with your money. So by the time you make a sentence, you have 10 minutes more. Alright? So it's best for people who are fast in typing, right? Who understand the functionalities of the system, alright? Then alternatively, there is the paper-based test. This is where you have to take on the test by scribbling on a paper, just like you did this morning, your mock test. So at this point, of course, you're going to be writing with a pen or a pencil, right? So nobody penalizes anyone for bad handwriting. You don't lose any mark. But ensure that your writing is legible. Legible. Let examiners be able to read whatever you have written. Because you're not going to be there to explain to them, this one is R, that one is O. Okay? So ensure that your writing is legible. You shouldn't be a calibrator. You know, those artists who have very beautiful handwriting. Okay, so these are the things about IELTS test. Yes, please. Okay.
What if you write something? What if you write and you want to cancel? Like,
When?
you not put this word, maybe you cancel and you want to write it.
Okay, when you're doing the paper-based test.
Yes, like for this day will be now you cancel something because it's not clear and now you write it.
Okay. The listening and the reading test. You are free to make use of your pencil. Listening and reading test. You should make use of your pencil. Then you see the writing test, it's going to be pen, right? And during your writing test, you are to write whatever you have articulated in your head, right? So if you feel you want to remove a particular word and bring a better word, just strike it out once and write on top of it. Don't start doing
Strike that
once.
Okay, but for the listening and reading,
You can use pencil and eraser.
and clean and reading.
Exactly.
What if you use pen? It's not allowed.
It's okay if you wish to. It's your own choice. The thing is, you might want to use pencil because, for instance, listening test is a time-based kind of test, right? And it's not repeated. So because of that, there is high tendencies that when you hear a word and you write it, you might most likely hear another word that you feel is even better for that particular option, right?
Yes.
So because of these situations, then there is the need to use a pencil. So even if you have written something before, you might want to correct it. So to correct it, you either write something just beside it, then later you erase that wrong one and impute the correct one. Do you understand this? But if it is the writing text, it is strictly meant to be done using a pen. There is no option for pencil.
For the writing.
Yes, for the writing. You understand? Alright, so let's understand that the IELTS tests, whichever you want to write, be it the general training or the academic exam, you are going to be tested on 4 different areas. There are 4 modules of the IELTS test. And the 4 areas are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The 4 areas of your test would be listening, reading, writing, and speaking. These are the 4 areas of the IELTS test. For the listening test, you would have to listen to an audio while you read along, because the audio will be discussing the written version. So you're going to read along and also listen to the audio. So when you hear the correct information, you write. Okay? It's a flowing stream. It doesn't flow backward. It's not repeated. So any answer that passes you by, Yoruba will say, "Otilo," it's gone. Right? And don't make the mistake of trying to pause your concentration to think of what you have. You miss more. Right? So anyone that passes you by, don't worry yourself. Just push, keep pushing. Don't worry yourself, yes. Don't worry yourself. But you may not have completely failed. You can come back and something will just come to your head, and that's correct. So, but don't worry yourself. Just go to the next one, right? Okay, but you are strongly advised never to leave any space in listening test. You are strongly advised not to leave any blank space in listening test. Do you know what that means? It simply means whether you have missed it, no problem. At the end of that section, try to guess something. That sounds like a magic.
If you really plan,
There is no penalty.
there's a penalty.
No. But you stand little chance of guessing right. Little slim chance of guessing right. There's no penalty if you choose to leave it blank. But it's why leave it blank when you could just read a sentence and you can just it works for some persons. It's luck, right? So you may just guess something. So when you guess, probability, wrong or right. Okay? Then the reading test. Of course, the listening test lasts for 40 minutes, right? You are going to have 40 questions to answer, right? And then there are 4 different sections of the listening tests. So you'd have to pay maximum attention and concentration just for that 40 minutes period. After that, you can go back to your normal self. If you drift away, maybe you just remembered one joke, one brain jotter's joke, or Sabinus kind of, you remember that joke and you're like, you just smile and close your eyes before you open the eyes. Some answers will just quickly pass you by, okay? The reading test, you still have another 40 questions to answer in 60 minutes. So within the 60 minutes, you read the whole passages and answer the whole 40 questions in 60 minutes. There is no added time or extra time given to you. Unlike what you always hear during your practice test for listening. You would hear, that is the end of your listening test. In the real IELTS test, you would be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers. Please, even with what this audio is telling you, don't bank on it. Don't. It is safer to write your answers directly on your answer sheet. if you choose to write on your question paper, there is high tendencies that if you're not a fast writer, you may not be able to transfer all those answers to the answer sheet. And nobody's going to mark what you drafted or scribbled on your question paper, right?
And then we can listen to it.
Exactly. Now, yes, when you are even transferring, there is also possibility of making mistakes because you are trying to be very fast. Right? Okay. So reading is 60 minutes and that's all you need. Both the time for you to read the questions, the passages, and the time for you to answer the questions, everything is enshrined in the 60 minutes. Please. Then, you should understand that IELTS examiners consider reading test as the simplest aspect of the IELTS exam. They say because during your listening test, you are not a native English speaker, right? They know that you have your own native dialect. And then you are not 100% in tune with the accents, pronunciation, enunciation, and the pace of the native speakers, right? You are not in tune with that. So you struggle to understand what they say. You struggle to catch up with their pace. And at the same time, you are reading and writing. You are multitasking. And because of this, the marking scheme for listening is a little lenient. But reading they are very strict with their marking scheme. The reason is because they say that your reading is right in front of you and right with you, right? And then they feel you have the opportunities to read as many times as you can if you're a fast reader. And that your answers are right there in front of you. Do you understand this? So they feel everything you need to get your right answers or the correct answers are there. So you have no reason not to do well.